this, please. Starting here, would you all just do the wave once? Okay, so on the count of 3, start 1, 2, 3. And back we go. That is wonderful. You all get a banana sticker. There are no banana stickers, it's a lie.
Adam, you get them.
Dan, what a jip. It said that on the program. 3 banana stickers.
They're in your imagination.
You can get us one. One kind of a butler.
You know, it's funny because I am imagining the banana stick. Right? Yes. That's something no one can take it away from you. No one can take it unless they pull really hard. It would hurt. It would hurt. It's like removing a Band-Aid.
Tech people want to know, do we need anything else?
That message is so an hour ago.
It is. I just got it at 11:41 though.
Hooray for hotel.
Yeah.
Don't tell them we're in the right ballroom, and we got it. I think we got everything we need.
We got it. We got this, yo.
We got it.
Someone's like, yes, they've got it. Thank you, one person. Thank you for your enthusiasm.
Actors, they can be taught.
Someone's like,
Yes.
Like nice little laptop.
Yay, my breakfast has arrived. I have a handler, and I said, can you go get me something while I walk to this panel that I'm very late for? And I said it exactly like that.
did they bring it up for us?
No. I assume you guys were wise and got up in plenty of time and ate and are fully ready.
Why in heaven's name would you make a weird assumption like that?
I know, that's a bad assumption to make. Yay, give her a round of applause. Yay, Darcy. Darcy got me breakfast burritos. Yay. And they're all for you. Just kidding.
Now if you'd like to
Big bird, big bird.
Alicia Silver's done that.
Yeah. See, I'm going to be that panelist. That panelist that sit here and eats while you guys talk. I know. I'll
make faces.
I'll text.
I'll make faces.
I got my Game Boy here. I'll play that.
You'll be texting, but everyone does that. Everyone multitasks when
I know.
everyone gets together to stare at their phones.
Our generation.
And then they text each other. And they're
It's sad.
totally
I
silent
only use it
until
when
one
I'm
guy
on
goes,
board.
reacting to the text they just got.
I love it when
At least we
Jimmy
hope they're
texts.
reacting to the text they just got.
Right.
I love seeing a couple on a date, and they're both texting back and forth, and then one of them goes, and shows the other one a picture on the phone that they actually got from that person. What two worlds?
For real, let me explain something to you. If that person is texting you,
Right.
Little things.
they already know what you just got.
Or like you're following someone on Facebook and everyone's reposting memes. So you go, hey, so-and-so would like that. Oh, wait, they shared that already. Oh, darn it. Because it's a contest, right? It's like, I want to share this. Oh.
I'm the one that brings the funny.
Do know. Well, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
This is lovely smiling faces, and nobody going like this. That's cool.
A minimum, anyway.
That's it.
How they do like,
And welcome to Making Your Voices Heard. Tips and advice for breaking into the wacky, wonderful, weird world of voice acting. Because it truly is. It can be very, very, very weird and very strenuous and very tense and very depressing and very this, that, and the other thing. But that's all okay. Because what I thought we would, the reason, the way this panel was sort of born is when there's 4 or 5 of us, 6 of us, 8 of us, a whole group of such luminaries as the gentleman to my right. I know, I'm sorry.
oh my God, she means that.
I made Kyle Hebert do a spit take. This is so going on Facebook.
Hold on, I'm reposting this.
Hold on, wait a minute. But when there's a whole slew of us up here, and we want to get everybody's questions answered and make sure nobody feels left out and whatnot, the one question that we always get is how can I do this? How did you do it? How can I do it? And usually the only answer that we really have time for is, well, particularly where anime is concerned, you have to live where they do it. You have to live where it's, they're not going to fly you in and, whatever. No, it doesn't always work that way. So you do have to live where they do it, which is, it's absolutely true, but that doesn't give you a whole lot of information. There's more to it than, just living where they do it, because not everybody who lives there gets work. So this is sort of, you can start from wherever you are. If you don't necessarily live in a big city, there are still opportunities that will be there for you. Your college drama club, or your local radio station may need somebody to come in and record a couple of promos because their usual guy is out sick with laryngitis or something. There's always an opportunity. So what I thought we would do is just kind of share how we got started, because everybody, no matter what their name is, no matter how long they've been in the business and how famous they are, and their mansion in Beverly Hills and whatever, they all had that first audition. They all were in the shoes that we've been in and will hopefully be wearing in the future. And so, I can kick the ball off. I know you're... It might be a little tricky right now.
Believe it or not, that's actually a voice exercise right there.
That's it.
Talking around a mouthful of food.
Do as I do, kids. Right before a session, stuff your mouth with a burrito.
The recording engineer will love you. Load up on coffee.
That's it.
Chocolate.
Coffee and carbs.
Those mics will pick up the food digesting, so.
But you never know. Your director may say, leave it in. I like it. Take another bite.
I like
it.
That mouth smacking was so intense.
Oh, it was so authentic.
The motivation.
I had a food gremlin once in the booth. It was the early days for me, and of course, at Funimation we do the Q beeps, which I don't know where they do.
Oh yeah.
It's like 3 beeps, and on the imaginary 4th beep in time, that's when you're supposed to come in. So you hear 3 beeps in your headphones right before your line. But they can make those beeps anything they want, and usually it's beep, 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 but it might be someone making a fart sound. It just depends on if the director really wants to mess with you that day. Well, I had a really severe throat gremlin. I was like, la la la, and you just hear this. Oh God!
I'm dying.
So the show's engineer decided to make those the cue beeps for the rest of the set. I think every time it was everything. The sound of hair growing.
Really? Seriously.
So do you want to kick us off?
So sure. My name is Amy Howard Wilson, and I had the extreme privilege of voicing the character called Nova in the original series Starblazers. So we have old schoolers and thank you. And Starblazers is responsible for bringing me together with this lovely band, my husband Dave. Awesome! He was 10. Oh, goodness. And how everything happened for me, I had gone to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York for 2 years. Stage training, I learned how to fence, the movement classes, mime, voice classes, all centered around stage technique and how to be comfortable and how to define your characters and all the different aspects of stage work. And when I graduated, I had all this wonderful training under my belt, but I still didn't really know how auditions work and how do you meet an agent, or how do you do this, and sort of the other side, how the business part of it really worked. So I decided rather than go out and try an audition right off the bat, I would go and try to find work in kind of related areas. And I got a job as a receptionist in a casting agency, and I was a sales rep for a jingle writer. I would take his demo around to ad agencies and play it for creative directors, and if they wanted to book him for their next series of coffee commercials or whatever, that sort of thing. And when the audition for Star Blazers came along, I was working in the front office of another acting school in New York called Weiss Barron, which primarily focused on camera technique, voiceover for radio and TV spots, and that kind of thing. And I was answering the phone and doing filing and all the clerical type stuff. And the casting director, whose name was Kit Carter, called the school, and she was checking other sources as well for non-union talent for this new show that was being brought over from Japan, that they wanted some English voices to come in and dub the dialogue. And it was, at the time, it was the only show of its kind. If you can picture this, the only show of its kind being done anywhere in the country. So it was very new, very, very iffy. I mean, there had been great successes like Speed Racer and Astro Boy and Battle of the Planets and other things that were good, and people liked them and whatever. So they thought, okay, well, let's try it again. It seems to be working. But it was still, nobody knew if it was going to fly or die. And it was a very small production. We didn't have our names in the credits. I made $100 an episode. Flat rate, buyout, no residuals, no nothing. I didn't care. This was my first paying job as an actress. I didn't care. My voice was going to be on television. I didn't care. So, Kit spoke with the owner, one of the owners of the school, and he came around and canvassed everybody. Anybody want to go to an audition? So, yeah. Hello, right here. And as it happened, Tom Tweedy, who did Mark Venture's voice, and Eddie Allen, who did the voice of Lita Geslock, were students at the school. So that's how they found out about it. And that it all just sort of happened. We recorded it in a really, when I say tiny studio, I'm talking maybe 15 by 30. And we were each in the booth alone, and that's really the most economical way, and as it still happens today, when particularly from Japanese to English, the dialogue doesn't always match the little lip flaps on the character. So, and back
less
then,
of a thing these days, but back then it was a very common problem.
Back then, when you flubbed a line, they had to rewind the reels of tape and sync you back up again and re-record the dialogue, and it wasn't PC's slick little cut and paste and delete and tighten and shorten and lengthen and whatever.
It was ribbons of plastic painted with ferrous oxide.
we had a can here and a can here and a piece of string. But fundamentally, as I was just gonna pass the spotlight on to Michael, fundamentally things have not changed all that much. Because they found over the years that it is the most economical way of getting the product on the shelves. So that's how it happened for me.
Thank God it happened for you.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Generations of them. My story's a little long and involved, so bear with me. That's why whenever anyone ever asks me, like, how did you get or how do I get into acting, I'm like, no, I'm not the one to talk to because don't follow my trajectory. It's the wrong way to go about it. Because mine is, waste like the first 28 years of your life doing nothing and then wait for someone to trick you into doing it. Where do I begin? I was born, I grew up. Actually, I found
that I built myself.
I like that version of the story much better. I found acting, stage acting in particular, when I was very young, because I had a stutter, a debilitating stutter. It was so bad that I actually didn't speak very much at all until about 9 or 10. It's okay, I've been making up for lost time ever since. But my speech therapist I had for years and years and years was this tiny little British woman, and she had ties to the theater, and musical theater, and things like that, as is often the case with speech pathologists.
And we found, as a child, that if I had a script or something to recite, that the stutter tended to disappear. So I thought, oh, well, this is cool. And so my pathologist thought, well, there's some community theater thing going on here that I work with. Why don't you try out for them? And so I started doing a lot of stage work as a kid. And so I kind of began growing up on the stage. And I found myself very at ease in front of a group of people speaking if I had a script or something to improv off of. And in real life, the stutter would usually come back and well into my teens. But on stage, I was just, I loved it. And so I had this whole thing. But when the time came in my life, that dreadful time we call high school, where you have to make a decision about what to do for the rest of your life. It's like, now, do or die, pick today, or
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. I decided not to pursue acting as a career because I just felt, it was one thing to do it as a kid, and then another to grow up and try to do it as an adult. I thought takes a lot of courage, and I'm not fundamentally a very courageous person, so I just decided to go the safer route. And I had a whole other career for 10 years. And I just considered acting to be one of those things that I enjoyed, that allowed me to find my voice when I was younger, but that was one of those things you put to bed as you grow up and forget about and have fond memories of every now and again. But so fast forward all these years, and I was 28 years old, and I happened to know a gentleman by the name of Christopher Bevins, who was an actor, a writer, and a director with Funimation. Now, I was a big anime fanboy as a child. I grew up watching Star Blazers. I have no idea what this is doing to me right now. She's touching me. She's touching me. No, seriously, we were sitting on autographs yesterday and the entire time. She's like, hi, man. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. So I was a big anime fanboy when I grew up. I really, really, really loved it. And so I was aware of what my friend Chris did. Because I thought, Funimation, the Dragon Ball folks, that's awesome. You guys rock. Oh my god, that's so cool. But I never had any ideas of getting into the business because I just considered that not my territory. But Chris and I were friends, and we were fellow comic book nerds together. He spent many an evening crashed out on my couch with my cat on his face. So, after heated debates of who would win in a fight, Iron Man or Batman, or whatever. And then one day, out of the blue, 2.5 years into the friendship, he just calls me up one afternoon and says, hey, so I'm working on this new show called Samurai 7, and it's kind of based on the Kurosawa film Seven Samurai. Are you familiar with it? I'm very familiar with the film. It's one of my all-time favorites. Awesome. I would like you to come in and audition for this one character that I just need someone new on. I'm like, none of the old standbys are working for me, and I like your voice. I think I can work with it. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. I can't believe you would. Wow. No. So, because that whole idea just terrified me. I'm like, all my experience with stage, I've never been on mic before. I had no booth technique, and I'm like, no, I thanked him very much for thinking of me, but I politely declined. So the following day, he called me again. Hey, so I'm working on this show. It's called Samurai 7. And I'm like, we just had this conversation yesterday. Did we? Did we, in fact? And what did you say? I said no. Huh. Interesting. All right, bye. Next day. So I'm working on this show. And he kept calling me. And this is a guy that I've known for years now, and he's what started as he just got scarier and scarier and scarier. So what began as, hey, I'm working on this show, ended with if you don't come and audition, I'm gonna break your kneecaps. And he finally made some horrible lie up about, look, you're not going to get the part. The truth is, my producer's breathing down my neck for not auditioning new people. You're just going to come in, read. If you suck, we'll laugh, never speak of it again. Just do a guy a favor. Just come in on Sunday, a couple hours, audition, and then just go home, all right? Whatever. I'm like, So I come in under protest, convinced that this is the only way I will be able to mend fences with Bevins. And so I go in. It is a 4-hour-long audition, which I wasn't prepared for. No one told me how long it was going to be. Now, if your experiences with stage auditions is, you've got a monologue in you, and then boom, off, out comes the shepherd's, hook, and you go, and maybe they call you back, maybe they don't. Right. So I'm in there for 4 hours, and it is dubbing boot camp. I mean, we are matching flaps, what we call the mouth movement.